Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sunique. In this video I intend to go through this deck, Tarot of the Sorceress. I've had this deck for about just over a year now, and I did a full walkthrough, unboxing all of it when I first received it, and when I uploaded it I noticed it was so dark that I would have to refilm it. So this is me refilming over a year later. Anyway, I'll get to that in a little while. I'll tell you what I'm thinking and hope I don't confuse you. So, I have been reading a lot of Greek mythology, some really good books, and I'm just fascinated with the whole pantheon. And I'm going to carry on reading. Now, as part of that, if you've watched any of my videos, there's been a recurring theme that I'm aware of, which is the stag. The stag energy seems to keep coming to me, or I'm aware, I keep being more and more aware of stag energy. And so in looking a little bit further into that, it seems the stag is aligned to Artemis. So I've been taking more note of Artemis, let's say. Now, in this book here, The Real Witch's Year, Kate West, I've had this so long, look at this. It's so bad. There's a page on Artemis. Now this book goes day by day. You can do something every day aligned to the seasons around the Wheel of the Year. So May 19th we have all about Artemis here, often pictured as a huntress carrying a bow with a quiver full of arrows, but she was and is much more than that. So she represents womanhood throughout all stages of life, so maiden, mother, crone, and protects women. And Artemis is also the mistress of natural law, that which governs life, death, and rebirth. One of her symbols is the bear. Now I also align to bear energy as well. A bear hibernates in the winter. And I don't like the cold. I really don't like the cold. It's not my favourite element. And also that whole thing about withdrawing when you feel vulnerable is part of my personality as well. I do tend to do that anyway. The goddess of the Amazons, Astasia, here, is thought to be another form of Artemis, being the role of the goddess as a warrior woman, and it's an energy that I would like to incorporate. Artemis is also confused with the Roman Diana, whose form was assimilated into the Greek Artemis. So the advice here is look and listen to the rhythms of the land, for they give timing to our lives. Yeah, that's Kate West's book. Look, brilliant. I've had this so long. This came out in 2004, and I've had it that long. Did I say this is going to be a chatty video? It is. So we have this Oracle of the Witch here. Now this is by Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Mickleton Free, and I have shown this on my channel. I've done a full walkthrough of it. So I was looking through, and the very first card is Diana or Artemis. And we see her pictured here with the dogs, the bow, an arrow, and the stag. Key word for it is wisdom. So looking through at the book, within your sacred temple resides deep wisdom. Rise and become the one who knows. This is a very empowering message that they provide in this book. She knows that you have felt haunted at times by those who would seek to silence you at all costs, to keep your truths and wisdom hidden from the world. She calls to your side her familiars who will watch over you and ensure that you are not harmed by those who perceive you as a threat. Insecurity in one form or another has caused you to hide your gifts and abilities as a wisdom keeper. You've kept silent, dodging the arrows of harsh words and insults. A protector of ancient wisdom, a hunter of the truth. Brilliant. And then we have an incantation. And then also how Diana directs the moon phases. There's a reasoning behind all this. Okay. So Artemis is also assigned with the moon and the moon phases. So what I thought was, following the Wheel of the Year, following the moon phases might be something I might sort of incorporate into my practice pretty soon. As for the Wheel of the Year, I collected these books. Second hand that one is, but yeah, I collected these books. So these books are all by Llewellyn. There's 8, one for each Sabbath. So we start Imbolc, Astara, Beltane, Midsummer, Lunasa, Mabon, Samhain, and Yule. And pretty colours, aren't they? So I'll just show you Imbolc. We've got the lamb there for Imbolc. Astara, we have the rabbit. We've got a honeybee there for Beltane. Sunflower for Midsummer, and a swallow. We have bread and apple for Lunasa. We have a crow for Mabon. A black cat for Samhain. And a Christmas candle for Yule. And some holly. So those are the books. And then I always, since 2022, I've been getting the Witch's Diary, which is also by Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Jane Fries, the same people that produced the Oracle of the Witch. They are UK based. So yeah, since 2022, so like in 2023, I was using Mystical Realm Tarot, Canterbury cards, yeah, the Canterbury Oracle. I never know how to say that. You know, I did a walkthrough of that as well, but that's another one I never published because it was too dark. Anyway, these two look quite similar really, don't they? But that one's white and black, that's one white and grey. And that's where I had a pen in. I kept a pen in that one. And then we've started getting colourful. So the 2024 one's very similar to actually the tarot deck, which is probably done on purpose. And then we have next year's 2025. So yeah, this also has lots of things you can play with and practice and bring into your practice if this is something that really calls to you. Oh, we got goddesses as well. I wonder when Artemis is here, because this is Celtic really, so possibly not. But anyway, it's stitched. We like a stitched book. It talks about the moon phases, the eclipses, Wheel of the Year here. Although it doesn't give the dates, but here. It gives the dates here. And then what have we got? Planting and harvesting dates. So which phase of the moon is best for agriculture? Planet rulers and signs. The goddess and moon phases. So maiden, mother, crone. There we are again. Lining back up with Artemis. Magical weekdays. Magical moon times to cast spells. Magical meanings of colour. Directions and elements. Trees. So much information. It's so good, isn't it? It's an incantation for trees. And then we're into the diary. Moon magic. Witchy tips. Kitchen. Mandrake. Candle magic. Got Imbolc for the signs of new growth. Rigid. Yeah, it's going to be very Celtic, isn't it, with the goddesses? So I wonder if there's a goddess in this pantheon that aligns to Artemis or aligns to the stag. Rhiannon, that's horses, isn't it? Ponies. Cordelia, fairy queen. So we have some fairy magic. Garden magic. Elemental. Fairy guide spell. Bloodwood. That's Welsh. The horned god. What else do we have? Lita. Yeah. Anya. I know this one. Attain. the Shining one. Don't know that one. So lots of incantations, witchy tips, witch's wisdom. Got some more colour associations there. Sigils. Oh, wasp revenge, yes. Makes sense. So the goddess for Lunasa is Teltiu? I don't know. I can't see any stag energy yet. I was just wondering if there was squirrel, red squirrel. We don't see many of those anymore. Codewin, so we've got some more Welsh deities, Samhain, Hecate. The Morrigan. Cailleach. That's your stag. Right at the very back. How about that? Find your way. Hoof and horn. All who die shall be reborn. Long before the figure of Father Christmas was conceived, the far more ancient Divine Mother was associated with the winter solstice. The dear Mother, or Mother Reindeer, carried the returning sun in her antlers, and the sun was reborn. So yeah, that little bit, and then we're with the Cailleach. Oh, look at this. Witches of Royalty, Anne Boleyn. Elizabeth Woodfield, Catherine de Medici. Oh, the Medici. I'm about to film a video on the Visconti Tarot and the Golden Tarot. So the Sforza, Visconti Sforza Tarot. That really ties in with the Medici family. So there you go. Witches museums. So we've got one in Spain, Brazil, Iceland. Yeah, lots of them. So it is, yeah, there we are. Museum of Witchcraft and Magic, Boscastle, which is not very far from me. Okay. And then we are about the authors on the back page there. And then, oh, this is beautiful. Isn't it gorgeous? Anyway, so I'm taking a long time with this video. I hope you don't mind. Please bear with me. There's a reason. So I'm going to go through Tarot of the Sorceress because I'm thinking of using this deck along with Artemis Energy, this diary. Now, this is why I'm hesitant as when to actually start all this, because the diary doesn't really start until the beginning of the year. It begins, I think, the last week of December. So it's a shame, really, these diaries do this, because I wanted to align it to one of the Sabbats. But then I suppose if we're thinking stag energy, and it brings in stag energy here in December, maybe December is when to start this. Maybe. Oh, things to think about. So let's have a look at the Tarot of the Sorceress. Now this is an amazing system. It says it's a tarot deck, but it goes its own way. It really does. You might be able to tell just by looking at that image there. It's black and white mainly with sort of this bronze accents. It says on the back, discover concealed oracle messages and bring to light your hidden depths with the Tarot of the Sorceress. Inspired by pagan spirituality, this deck revolves around these seasonal festivals, Sabbats and solar events that comprise the wheel of the year, and rituals encompassing the 4 elements of air, water, fire and earth. And that's the order they've put them in. Now I'm used to a tarot system, which is the Golden Dawn system, which would be fire, water, air, earth. Yeah, it's a little bit different. So the major arcana cards embrace the great movements of the wheel of the year, while the minor arcana cards are tools in the service of the major arcana. depicting Sabbats, seasons, moon cycles, sacred figures, constellations, planets, crystals and plants. Each element has its own force, but together the cards take on different symbols. This striking tarot, with its beautiful black and white illustrations and metallic highlights, reflects the magical and mystical world. It can be used for divination or during rituals. And it's a rock pool deck. So I think this is going to go along really well. It's really damaged though, but it's only the box that's damaged. But I think this is going to go along really well with this diary. Anyway, we've got a magnetic flip top box here. This is the metallic colour. This is the guidebook, which is 128 pages. Now the only thing about this book is the banners for the titles of the cards. Yeah, they're not in order. Wouldn't you know it? It can be a little bit difficult to read. There's one in particular. Yeah, this one. This King of Water page. Now I cannot see what that says. King of Water page of... I really can't see this. It's quite tiny, this guidebook. So that's the side of the card. Size of the card, that's the size of the guidebook. So it's not a big guidebook this way. But when was this? 2022. So it's got this like the black banners with this metallic colour type. Honestly, I find it really, really difficult to read. So it tells you a bit about the tarot, why a Sorceress tarot. So it's broken down, especially the minor cards are broken down into different sections. So we have elements, times of day, a sense, a lunar phase, a candle, a crystal, a herb, a flower, a magical tool, a planet, an incense, an animal, an allegory, and constellations. It talks about numerology, how to use the cards, spreads, 1 card, 3 card, 4 card. We have an example of some spreads here, a 6 card, and then we're into the majors. Okay, so acknowledgements at the back and about the author. Let's get into the cards. I might pause the video at the moment and sort them back out into order. Okay, so this is the inside of the bottom of the box. So we've got like this cutout, which is falls apart on you. But still, it's not great. Ooh, it just falls apart. But yeah, nice. It's a nice image inside though, all those stars. I quite like that. It's just a shame the quality isn't all that. Now I'm going to reference the guidebook for this because it's not your usual tarot. Okay, so we start with the Fool, which is the Sorceress themselves, as in the Tarot of the Sorceress. So this is our Sorceress beginning journey. So we've got like a few tools here on the belt, and we're on the Witch's Broom and reaching for that moon. Artemis, Selene. The Magician. So this magician's got their back to us with the table with everything on it. So we're sort of used to seeing a magician's table with all the elemental tools on there. But in this deck, this is representative of spring. And we can see this with the blossoms, I think, in the background here. So that is spring. So this magician is preparing an altar for spring. So the priestess has a book of spells. Now we're used to seeing the priestess with a book, but we don't see what's in the book, whereas in this instance the book is actually being shown to us. The pages are open and we're being presented with the contents. High Priestess represents a passive, dedicated time. Her hands represent the connection between the seen and the unseen, as if calling upon intuition to divine what is hidden. Our Empress is Beltane, and we've got the Maypole, and also our Empress is pregnant. The Emperor, well, this is Letha. So now we're starting to go round the wheel of the year with the first few cards. Bring into life, crystallization, new projects, confidence and wisdom. We have a sacred masculine figure here for the Hierophant. All these hands and we've got justice there, we've got the crab there. So lots of like symbols on the back here of the Hierophant. And we've got these hands as if someone's facing us, but it's like a shadow of this blessing here. And you might notice the sacred geometry on these cards as well. By the way, that's the back, fully reversible. Then we come to our lovers. So here we have an alignment to crystals. So we've got rhodochrosite, garnet and pink quartz. So the only thing is, with this being a black and white, mainly black and white deck, we're obviously not seeing the colours that are referenced in the book. This chariot, this is summer. Like summer, the chariot flies by on the wings of nature's blessings during that season. Justice, sacred feminine. We've got the sword pointing down and we've got the triple moon there. The Hermit. So with the Hermit, we have a Tibetan singing bowl. And then the Wheel of Fortune is that Wheel of the Year, the seasons. Here it says Lunasa. We've got Strength at 11, so it's following a Marseille tradition as well. And this is Mabel. So again, going around the Wheel of the Year. The Hanged Man is Autumn. Trees losing their leaves there. And we've got a sort of a mudra going on here. The card that has no name. So again, like the Marseille tradition, card 13 is never named. And this is Samhain. Then we come on to Temperance. And this is Yule. I like this card because we've got like the sun here. It's like this, the shortest day of the year is in Yule. And here we have like the sun being really, really low in the sky. So I like that. We've got chakras here on our devil. And the devil is both female and male. Our tower is winter. This is an invitation to rebuild your foundation. The star, Imok. Now we're coming on into spring. And a star for the moon. So Easter time. The reflection. The sun is the god. Judgment is ether. Up in the ether there. And the world is the goddess. We've got like all these different hand positions here, or arm positions, that are just outlined, and then they're up here, reaching towards the goddess. Okay, so that's the major arcana. So as you can see, it's very much aligned with pagan or Wiccan or witches' Wheel of the Year. So I think it's going to go really nice with this witch's diary. Absolutely. Right. Let's now get on to the minor arcana. And the way I'm going to do this is by separating them out into numbers, because that's how they work within this system. So I'll just do that off camera. So with our aces, we have the elements. If you can see here, we've got the symbols for each element here as well. So here we've got the symbol for air. Here we've got the symbol for water, fire, and earth. So we've got representations here of each element. Fire, flames here for fire. We've got plants for earth, water pouring down from a cup for water, and then for air we have smoke. So for our twos we've actually got the time of day, and instead of one representation of the symbol for the element, we've got two on each card, and that carries on through the suits as well. So you'll find 3 of these in the 3, 4 in the 4, etc. So these are, time of day. So this is dawn, this is twilight, this is noon, and this is night time. So depending on when you want to work your spell, whatever it is you're doing, then you could use these cards as timing. So we have the 3s here. So like I say, we've got the 3 symbols of each element on the cards. And the 3s are the senses. So here we've got hearing, because we've got all these musical instruments here, and bells and things, and birds. You can hear birds, can't you? So that's for air. And that makes sense because vibrations, that's how we hear, isn't it? We hear things through vibration. Then for water, we have taste. So we've got mouths and food for taste. In our fire element, we've got sight. So we've got all these eyes here in this hair. It's quite funny. I like this image. And then for earth, we have touch. So we can see we started with a skeletal hand and arm, and then the muscles and tendons, and then a fully fledged hand reaching up. So those are the 3s. The 4s are all about the moon. So in our air card, we have a blue moon, the last quarter for water, the last crescent for fire, and the waxing gibbous for earth. So again, we can use these elements whenever we want to call in those energies. I think it's a really good system, actually. So let's look at the 5s. So the 5s are all about candle magic, and this is where it sort of falls down a little bit, because it's black and white deck. We need the guidebook to let us know what colour candles we've got on there, or we're working with. So with the 5 of air, it's a pink candle. The water one is an indigo. Fire is white, and earth is golden. But you wouldn't know that from looking at the cards, would you? Again, with the 6s, because these are crystals, they're not coloured, so we have to reference the guidebook really to know what crystals we're looking at. So the 6 of air, this is amethyst, this is aquamarine, which makes sense for water. For the 6 of fire, pyrite, and malachite for earth, which, if you know your crystals, that makes absolute perfect sense. But if you're not, then you're going to need the guidebook, definitely. Our 7s have plant energy, so we have clover for air, thyme for water. We have 2 for fire. We have mint and pepper. And then for earth, sage. Got sage bundle there. Yeah, nice. They're lovely cards. So these are our 8s. And we have lavender for air, lotus for water, eucalyptus and hibiscus for fire, and honeysuckle for earth. Let's have a look at the 9s. So we have a flute for the 9 of air, a cauldron for the 9 of water, a magic wand for fire, and a pentacle for earth. Okay, so the final number, the 10s, we have planets. So for the 10 of air we have Venus, and then we have Mercury for water. For fire we have Mars, and then we have Earth for earth. Now these two, that makes absolute sense. This is where I sort of trip up, because to me Mercury is air, not water. I would assign Venus to water personally, but that's the system we've got in this deck. Let's get on to the court cards. So with the court cards, we go a little bit different in the system as well. We start with a page, then we have the Queen, Then we have the king, and then we have the knight. So that's that's the way it goes in the deck and in the guidebook. So be aware of that. So we start with page, then we have the queen, the king, and the knight. And again, we're following a system. So that's what it looks like in one suit. So let's just do all the pages together and you'll see how this works, okay? So page goes down already. So you can see the youthful energy here in the pages. All the pages are incense, okay? So the page of air is iris, this is orchid, mandrake and jasmine. Then for the queens, we have these animals. So we've got owl here, like Athena's owl. Then we have the swan. And then we have a serpent and a stag. And I'm going to have to look at that one right now. And we know why. So it's the Queen of Earth. Oh, it says deer. Looks like a stag to me. So keywords centered on home. Materialistic, looking for comfort and security. In reverse, home, work or inner, out about imbalance and a fear of change. Like any queen, the Queen of Earth is grounded in her element, almost blending in with it. The deer is an animal of majesty, of earth and of the forest, attracting abundance and knowledge. The Queen of Earth is grounded in her home, in material comfort that she is not ready to give up. She is the manager, the accountant and the builder. She is the mother, the one who occupies the inner home hidden from the world. She can also cling to her comfort zone, resisting change that can sometimes come into her life, even if it represents an opportunity. So there's the lesson there. So then we go to the kings. Okay, so our king of air, this is the feather. King of water. That word I cannot read, I think has something to do with this shell here, I assume. The king of fire is coal, and then the king of earth is oak, and you can see the king in the oak tree there, making it his home. That's a big piece of coal there. So the final court cards, like I say, are the knights, and these are constellations. So they align to astrology. So with Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. For water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. For fire, we've got Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. And then for earth, we have the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. So I can see quite clearly how this could work in ritual. You know, we could say, I want to use the constellation of Taurus because I want to do some grounding work. So in order to do our grounding work, I'd like to use a candle. So I'm going to find a candle that helps me to ground. And alongside that, I could use a crystal. But I want some fluidity in my work, so I'm going to use aquamarine to keep everything flowing. But I need some energy as well. So I'm going to use the 10 of fire and bring in the planet of Mars here, just to give it some oomph. So do you see how this can work? We can just take, different cards that represent different things and bring them all into the practice. So I think that's going to be a wonderful way this is going to work. Right, I'm just going to give you an idea of the card entries. So I'll pull for us a major card. I like gold edges. It's really nice, isn't it? We have the Hierophant. So this is all about deepening values and orientation, and represented by sacred masculine. The Hierophant, a card of orientation and values, is also the masculine aspect of spirituality based on the duality and complementarity of the feminine and the masculine, which are always mingled in the gifts of nature. Here the Hierophant is represented by the sacred masculine. Reaching towards the sky, he evolves and shows you the way, or pushes you to find your own way in accordance with your personal values. The sacred masculine has a multifaceted nature and invites you to explore more deeply the parts of your life or your question that are probably a little too static. Yeah, it's a 4, it's a 5, isn't it? So it indicates change. The sacred masculine requires you to always be aligned with its values in order to move forward, a bridge between earth and sky. The Hierophant is grounded in the most trivial thing nature has given him, his body, in order to express his intangible will and spirituality. So we have traditional keywords of wisdom, mediator, faith, teaching, spirituality, guide, power, spiritual ascent. Let's now take a card from the Oracle of the Witch as a clarifier to where in life would be a good idea to bring in this sacred masculine energy. And they are already shuffled. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so where can we bring this sacred masculine energy into existence? Look at that. Honouring the old ones. So in ancestral work, possibly. And the Hierophant is all about tradition, isn't it? So that goes so well. Let's read the guidebook entry for this one as well, just while we're here. This is a long video. But I can see how this is really going to work well. Listen to the whispering wind speaking to you of the ancient ones who surround you now. The ancient ones are the bones of your bones, the blood flowing through your veins that pulses with the rhythmic beat of ancient wisdom. The roots of their family tree go back to the beginning of time when the first humans walked the earth. You are an ancient song waiting to be sung into the here and now. And your ancestors are committed to carrying forward the spirit of power and place for you. You are never alone, for they watch over you and protect you always. They are dedicated to ensuring their family lineage continues. When you feel down and alone, they pick you up and carry you forward until life becomes more manageable. Allow their sacrifice of the past, through all adversities, to be your war cry for freedom, for they are a part of you and they watch you from the realms, assisting you day by day. Their accountability is purely to you, their beloved descendant, to whom they fully support in fulfilling your full potential on the earth plane. This, too, furthers their own growth in the spiritual realms. They are your allies and supporters, for you are a part of their ancestral soul group, and they live through you. They reside within you as a silent voice that meanders through your thoughts, dreams, visions, and songs, as well as the signs that appear whenever you have required their help. The messages you seek are found in the whisperings of the wind upon the land and in the songs of yesteryear that play through the power of music. Observe the synchronicity that occurs each day, for the symbols will always reveal themselves whenever you call for the assistance of the ancient ones. The bond between you and them is forever united. Together you are strong, and nothing can sever the connection between you. You are their kith and kin, and when you follow in their witchy footsteps, they honour you as you revere the magical path of the old ways. And then we've got a light side and a shadow side and an incantation. So I think these 2 days are going to work really well together. I mean, the colour palette is brilliant as well, isn't it? If we start, let's go through a few cards and look at the colour palette together. Oh, look, the moon. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to use these 2 decks together. I really think it's going to work well alongside this diary. But I'm just trying to figure out when to start this practice. Oh, we have candles and books. We have like repeating elements, don't we? Oh, look at that. Look at that moon with the skull face in the moon for the witch hunts and persecution. And then we have death, yeah. Looks like the hanged one, doesn't it? That's cool. It's foretelling, and it's just a reminder really of Odin and the way that he discovered the runes. Yeah, I think this is going to work wonderful. Yep. Right, that's definitely going to be part of my practice. Look at the edges here. It's just so cool. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, bye friends, bye.